Okay, so this is the last FAQ for year one. Like, that is cuckoo bananas, completely wild, all of the things. And yeah, no, it's just a thing. So that's what we're doing today. We're doing an FAQ, and this is a really fun one. But before I tell you more about the FAQ and then, dive into it, I have to do my thing, because it's my thing, and say, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for day 336 of 365 days of soap, and today we're doing the last FAQ for the year. And that's cool, for the year of the channel. That might be confusing if you're kind of new. The year is obviously not over, it's March. We started the channel in April, so we're ending the, yes. And yeah, for this FAQ, we are going to talk about recipe percentages and, God, what else are we talking about? Recipe percentages for sure, talking about like why I just don't give the recipe. And I also think we're going to be talking about the future of the channel in general. So definitely, stay put, listen to the thing, watch the stamping, all of the jazz. Let's get to it right now. It's super weird that this is like the last FAQ of the year. It's wild. I don't know how to react to that. But yeah, so recipes. I actually get asked for recipes quite a bit. And in 95% of the cases, like I literally gave the recipe inside the video. Like I said it. And I did that on purpose because I know a lot of soapers actually don't really watch the video. And they just skip through, look for a recipe, skip to a couple of seconds of the pour, and then go to cut. And that's not really how my channel, I never wanted to work that way. So, because, when I'm just chit-chatting with you about stuff, I am doing all manner of, other things, giving you all kinds of cool soapy information, and also literally giving you the recipe, while I'm talking. So, there's that. For other ones, when I give, I give percentages instead of recipes. Like, why don't you just give me the recipe and not the percentages? The reason I work in percentages for things like soaps specifically is because I want you to be able to resize your batch accordingly and go from there. So if you have a mold that fits like 80 ounces and you want to make an 80-ounce batch of soap, if I give you the percentages and says this is 30% castor or 30% olive oil, 30% coconut oil, 30% babassu, and 10% castor, and I'm soaping at a super fat of 5%. Well, you can take that and plug that in to get your lye and all of the oils that you're going to need to fill your 80-ounce mold, where I am doing this with like, a 56-ounce mold, right? And so, also if you wanted to make a tiny batch, same thing. Working in percentages actually helps you dial in a whole lot of things, as well as, well, maybe I don't like 3% super fat. Maybe I want 8% super fat. Maybe I want none super fat. And you can make those calculations sort of on your own, so you're not having to worry about, well, is this going to fit in my mold? Am I going to have waste? How many bars of soap does this make? Etc., etc. And so I like to work in percentages for that reason, to give you flexibility within whatever it is that you're creating and the amount that you're going to, be creating. So like, again, for example, with all the little teeny tiny batches that I show you on the channel, that's a 56-ish ounce mold. It's a 56-ish ounce batch of soap. And so for the most part, it's 38 ounces of oil. And, around between, 8 and 12 ounces of water, depending on what I'm doing with my water discounts. And, you know, between 5 and 6 ounces of lye. And that works for my exact recipe, wherein I'm making a dozen soaps just to show you, but they may not work for you. And so doing it with percentages instead of just giving you the recipe is what I decided made more sense. But also, I wasn't really sure what people would really want as well. And it's, you know, literal daily content at this point. And so the idea of writing down a recipe for everything, I knew I was never going to do, because that's extra time typing that honestly I just don't have doing daily content like this. But I have thought about doing for year 2, maybe doing, you know, 1 day a week of like, here's a proper recipe for whatever, and like really doing more of that, and more of a, I don't know, like, so you want to be a soaper type, you know, content, or so you want to start a soap business type content for a couple other days throughout the week. So if you guys think that that would be, you know, a benefit and something that you'd be interested in, I mean, I'm happy to do it for sure. It's just, that's why I work in percentages. That's why I do, you know, what I do for the soap recipes. And again, for the rest of them, I literally give you the recipe in the video. Okay, allergies. Now this is actually a very interesting one, and something I get asked a lot, both within, you know, whether I'm teaching classes, or whether I'm doing master classes, or, you know, also on the channel or in DMs. What about ... allergy? And one of the biggest questions that is actually a very good one, and it's a solid query, and I love it when people ask this, because that's like a science brain working, and so I appreciate it. The question has been, does, like for nut allergies, for example, do the proteins in a nut oil survive saponification? And that's something that I have been fascinated with for a very long time, for several years. And to my knowledge, to date, no soaper has fully tackled this and taken a hard stance on it. And I thought that if anyone was going to do it, it was going to be Kevin, and I don't think he has. So correct me if I'm wrong. If he has, I would love to know. I would love to read whatever book he put that in, because that would be awesome. Speaking of, if you have any book in your soapy repertoire, I actually do recommend Scientific Soap Making, because it's delightful. And also it's very, very sciencey. It's super duper technical, so you don't have to do that. You don't have to be a really good chemist to understand and be a good soaper. But for those of you who are into that and want to really up your soapy game by just understanding the science behind it, that's a good place to start. Now, for the question of allergies and whether or not the protein actually survives the saponification process, I believe yes. I believe that it does, and there are a lot of reasons for why I believe that it does. However, I haven't ran any super duper tests on that to show that. There have been tests that have been run in the last few years on, you know, like body wash versus bar soap in general, and they have found that, you know, another common allergy thing, just basic contact dermatitis, is actually mostly eliminated just by nature of moving from body wash to a bar soap in most cases, because you are removing the surfactants and the preservatives, and that's what tends to have the things that are, you know, most allergen induced, right? So, or induces allergies. And so that's cool for contact dermatitis for sure. For the nut oils, there's the school of thought that goes, well, I mean, it depends on whether or not they get an allergic reaction from skin or from, you know, eating, from ingestion. And I'm not an allergist. That's not my field of study. And, you know, believe it or not, like the science world is huge, and we don't know all the things for all the things. And so I don't know, but I do have girlfriends that have their children that have very, very severe allergies. And whenever they start doing allergy tests to start with new, you know, products or whatever, they will effectively, they'll do skin tests and they'll put the things like directly on the skin. And so that idea that it doesn't have to be consumed is there. And so best case scenario, my belief is, yes, the proteins do survive the saponification process, and also you should just be as careful as you possibly can with things like that. Like, better safe than sorry. So if someone comes in and tells me that they have a nut allergy, so they can't use a soap that has any nuts in it, well, I mean, then I'm going to show you soaps that have no nuts, no peanuts, no hazelnuts, no macadamia nuts, no sweet almond oil, none of that. Coconuts are not nuts. But also, that doesn't mean people can't be allergic to coconut. So when someone comes into my shop and says, hey, I'm allergic to coconut, I don't know your life. I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong. I'm going to give you a soap that doesn't have coconut in it. And sadly for me, those soaps are very few and far between. But also, coconut allergies are kind of few and far between too, so it sort of works out. But yeah, no, I do believe that the allergens do survive. Like gluten, we've talked about gluten before on the channel. Gluten can also be a contact thing. And so if you have wheat products in your soaps or your body care products or whatever, that can cause, like a celiac reaction for sure. So my answer to that is, yeah, I think allergies can be impacted based on what you put in your soaps. So go from there. Shit! You guys, I'm showing you soaps that I haven't even shown on the channel yet. These are coming up. That's all a thing. Just ignore them. Forget that you saw them. All of those things. Also the ones that were like in the last slide with the, those are the ones, the ultra thin lines. So you can see just after a couple days, after cutting those, how quickly the middle darkened up. So there's that, but also just forget this soap because I haven't shown you that video yet. That's in a couple days. So it's coming. Anyway, one of the questions that I get a lot these days is, hey, are you doing a year 2? And it makes sense because we're about 30 days away from putting year 1 in the can. And that's huge. It's so wild to think about. Like this time last year, I got the notification that my children were being sent home forever and they're still home. And then my shop got closed for 3 months and I was happy to do it. And, everything it's nuts that what a year has done. And so this project that we, started because we didn't actually get any slower at the shop. Like when the shop got shut down, we were still massively busy with everything else. So the idea of actually doing 365 days of daily content was a lot. And it's crazy looking at it, wrapping up the year 1, like, on one hand, that was a shit ton of work. But on the other hand, it was really work that I enjoyed. It was fun. And I really love the community that I think we have all built here. Because it's obviously not just me, right? Like my sudsers and the people who are drawn to this type of content and this channel or whatever, you guys have become like really amazing e-friends. And I love that for us. And so I don't really want to be done. And so, I don't know. You tell me. You tell me if you think there should be a year 2. I have some ideas for year 2 stuff that I'd like to play with. Because honestly, this Amy Warden Soap Challenge thing for the past couple months, it's really taking it out of Georgia May and I. Like, that we don't actually have like our own inspiration, our own creativity, and we're sort of restricted to this one like thing and technique because it's part of the challenge, has actually really been hard on our mental state. And so we want to do more themed products and we want to play with more themes because we love a lot of things. And also, as I said, earlier, I'm thinking about doing like once a week, like here's a big recipe thing, blah, blah, blah. You test the lather, whatever. And then another day a week, maybe we'll do so you want to be a soap maker. And so we'll have that series going that will have a playlist. And then maybe another day of the week we'll have, so you want to be a soap business, and give you more, that information. But I don't know. You guys, you let me know. Do you guys want a year 2? I've been enjoying myself. It's been a good time most of the time until people talk shit about my dirty cutter and me eating in my videos or my children being heard in the background. And then I get real stabby. But, whatever. You let me know. And also, do you want me to get stabby? I started a TikTok just to get stabby and I really haven't done much with it. But, I don't know. You tell me. That is the last FAQ for year 1. That's day 336. This is cuckoo bananas that we are at this point. And, thanks for being around for this soapy ride. And there it is, the last FAQ of year 1. And if you're interested in the rest of the FAQs, you can definitely find them in a playlist. There's a playlist that I put together for all of that. So that's where you're going to find FAQs as well as some soapy tutorials for sure. And yeah, future of the channel, all the things. Yes, go back and listen. I think I talked about it. If I didn't, then I'm just like doing very weird spoilers, but I'm almost positive that I did. So yes, there's that. If you're interested in following the channel and seeing what else we come up with for the remainder of this year and the year 2 stuff, subscribe. You should do that. Just click the button. Do the thing. Yes. For those of you who have clicked that button and done the thing, hey, thank you. I appreciate you, Sudsers, so very much. It's cool. This has been a very cool journey, and I have loved every person that I've met along the way. Most every person I've met along the way. Some people that watch this suck, but not you. You're great, for sure. Thank you for joining me for another round of 365 Days of Soap. I do appreciate it. I will see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of soapy fun. Bye.